In the fictional universe of Babylon 5, the Psi Corps is an agency of the Earth Alliance responsible for all humans with telepathic or other parapsychological abilities anywhere within Earth-controlled space. All persons with psi abilities are required to either join the Corps, face lifetime imprisonment, or submit to a lifetime of drug treatments to suppress their abilities. Prolonged treatment with these drugs has a depressing effect. Susan Ivanova's mother committed suicide after 10 years under treatment, as Ironheart realized that his abilities had grown too great to contain. He discorporated his physical form, but not before leaving Talia with a gift, enhanced telepathic shields, and even a bit of telekinesis of her own. Dr. Stephen Franklin of Babylon 5 participated in an underground railroad to help rogue telepaths escape from the Corps. Eventually, the telepaths who escaped provided assistance during the closing days of the Shadow War. Later on, President John Sheridan of the Interstellar Alliance allowed rogue telepaths to form a small colony on Babylon 5. The situation ended in violence when the Psi Corps attempted to take the rogue telepaths back to Earth. After the colony on Babylon 5 was forced to leave following the death of its leader, Byron, Lyta Alexander began a crusade against the Psi Corps. Her actions led to a war in which rogue telepaths and non-telepaths fought the Psi Corps. The old Psi Corps was destroyed, and a new Psionic Monitoring Commission was built to replace it. Once the telepath war was over, the Psionic Monitoring Commission dedicated itself to hunting down those members of the Corps who committed war crimes, such as Alfred Bester. Bester was eventually captured and sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison with his abilities taken away by drugs. Many private schools were founded to educate telepaths. They met with mixed success. Telepaths were allowed a much wider range of options as far as their lives were concerned. Rather than having to join the Psi Corps, they were able to do almost anything they wanted. This included joining the Earth Alliance military and working for private organizations. The P scale. The P scale or Psi scale is a method of measuring telepathic power used by the Psi Corps, with lower ratings being more common than higher ones. However, the stronger the telepath's P level, the more control and discipline is needed, as it becomes much harder to block out the random thoughts and voices of others. A lower background noise is generally heard by all types above a P5 in their own thoughts. Training and careful focus is required to control and quiet down the background noises mentally heard by telepaths. P0s and P1s are usually latent telepaths with next to no abilities. Some latent telepaths can still sense if they are being psychically probed, which non-psychics would be completely unaware of. P2s and P3s have weak abilities and may be used commercially. P4s and P5s are the most common commercial telepath levels, potent enough to be a valuable asset in negotiations. Training of P5s can be tough. Most of those who train burn out, and some become brain dead. P6 to P9s are military and government-employed telepaths, used and hired for intelligence. P10 is the upper level of Psi Corps training, and are assigned as instructors at Psi Corp. P10s can read the mental actions of other telepaths, perform long-range scans and block heavy scans from higher P12s for a short time. A handful of P10s can perform telekinesis, but these are rare and the ability unstable. P11s are in administrative positions in the Psi Corps, but can also be assigned as Psi Corps. P12 is the highest official rating. Such types can become Psi Corps. They are able to read the minds of others at long ranges, have sufficient strength to break through blocks weaker types may build around their own minds, and can manipulate the memories of other mundanes and lower-range telepaths like the P5s. P12s can even communicate with normals via telepathy and detect and scan the levels of P5s, although two may be required. The scale does not measure telekinetic abilities. It is mentioned that 1 in 1,000 humans are telepaths, and 1 in 10,000 telepaths are telekinetics, and half of them are insane. This is 1 times 10⁻⁵% of the population, or 500 out of 10 billion people. The telepathic measurement systems of alien races are not described in the series, nor are non-human telekinetics mentioned. Mind burst. A mind burst refers to the sudden switching on of a person's telepathic abilities. A person taking a mind burst experiences an overload of incoming telepathic information, which will cause the person to pass out. A telepath is usually depicted as being born with telepathic abilities or developing them gradually in childhood. But in the case of those people with latent telepathic abilities, the ability can be suddenly switched on. Stress or body changes can cause this. People experiencing a mind burst are usually taken in for medical care. When they wake up, a trained telepath is usually on hand to help them. Prior to the telepath war, new telepaths were either made to join the Psi Corps or take drugs to block their abilities. Many telepaths ran away to keep from being forced into the Corps. After the war, telepaths had more freedom in choosing their futures. Mind quake. A mind quake is the sudden uncontrolled surge in mental abilities of a telepath, usually with poor mental controls. A person having a mind quake experiences an overload of outgoing telepathic information, which will cause the person to pass out or have a stroke, and cause distress in surrounding telepaths and mundanes. People experiencing a mind quake are always taken in for medical care. When they wake up, a trained telepath is usually on hand to help them, and if they prove too unstable, they are given drugs to block their abilities, or they are neutralized by involuntary surgery. Dust. Dust is a drug, smuggled from system to system in ways common to high-value, low-weight and bulk contraband. It trades at high prices and margins on the black markets, and is as hotly pursued by law enforcers in the way opiates are today. Implications are that if one is caught in possession or dealing, the penalties are quite harsh. Many black market operators refuse to deal dust because of the risks posed by law enforcement. The effects of dust seem to be a combination of LSD and cocaine, with the user experiencing some types of psi powers for the duration of the effect of the drug. It is targeted at humans, but one episode follows G-Car, a non-human Narn, who has tried it to get a taste of the psi powers his race has lost, by virtue of the fact that the drug was designed with a chemical built-in that allows it to work with non-human physiology. Babylon 5 physicians will suspect dust use if two persons have a unique, shared experience. For example, a dust user might complain of a mountain falling upon him while his victim is an avalanche survivor. Dust is revealed to be a covert program of the Psi Corps. Officially, it began as a way to locate latent telepaths, create telepaths out of mundanes, and perhaps to amplify the powers of known telepaths. No mention is made of the cash flow inherent in such a popular form of high-value contraband that would flow to Psi Corps. Nonetheless, the Dust Project was generally seen as a failure, and even prominent Psi Corps members like Alfred Bester were vehemently opposed to its further development. Notable quotes: "The Corps is mother, the Corps is father. The Psi Corps is your friend. Trust the Corps. We are everywhere for your convenience. Protect the family. We know what you're thinking. Obey." Notable Psi Corps individuals: Alfred Bester, Leiter Alexander, Talia Winters, Jason Ironheart, Byron. Books about the Psi Corps: The Psi Corps Trilogy, Dark Genesis, The Birth of the Psi Corps, Deadly Relations, Bester Ascendant, Final Reckoning, The Fate of Bester.